Hello, Rise Builders. I'm going to start reading in Hebrews 4, verse 13. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. That's right. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. There's this big craze with this song that's going on. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxieties. It's no way you haven't heard this song. It is all over the internet. It is everywhere. It's commercials. It's just a full vibe going on right now where people are feel like somebody's watching them. Somebody's watching them. And we do know people do watch us. We do understand that people watch us. The government is watching. Big Brother, that's what they call the government, Big Brother. But guess what? There's someone bigger than us, bigger than the government, that is watching. You all know who he is. Jesus. He sits high and looks low, right? He sees everything. But when he's watching, he's not watching to judge us. It's not a watch that we should be afraid, be scared, be timid. It's just a practical way of saying, I'm concerned about you, my child. You're getting off course. I need to pull you back in. I need to go get my one sheep and pull that one back in. You're talking crazy. You're talking wrong. Your attitude is foul. I need your presence to be with me. I need you to get back in alignment with me. That's what God does for us. He's watching us, but again, it's just that we go along the right path. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives. That can only happen if we are what? In alignment with him. So it's not to scare us of anything like that. But yeah, this topic made me think about that song. And I was like, okay, let's make the connection here. Let's make the connection. So God sees all. Nothing is hidden. God's watchful eye is rooted in love and purpose. Yeah, not paranoid. And I've already talked about that. We shouldn't be paranoid. That's just a loving father looking after his children. That's what he does for us. Living a life of integrity. Doing the right thing even when no one else is around watching. That's really important. Sometimes we'll do the right thing when we know people are watching, but most times we're going to do the right thing when we know people are watching. But what about when people aren't watching? What about when they aren't watching? Are you still going to do the right thing? The police isn't around. Are you going to speed? Now you see good and well that it says 70 miles per hour. Here you go, speed bunny. And you're doing what? 85, 90? That's my husband. That's your word, baby. Yeah. Speeding. But as soon as you think the trooper is around, he touched my leg. Like, what can I do? Like, oh, I'm gonna slow down. What you touching my leg for? Slow down. Yeah, but when people aren't watching, are we doing the right thing? You're working in a bank, you're counting the money, or you're at the register, you're tallying up the money. Are you doing the right thing? When a customer walks up and they're a little rude with you, are you going to get rude back with them? How are you going to handle that? You're talking one-on-one with your boss and he says something that, you don't like or you disagree with. Is that the time for you to spark up and blow up? Or is that a time for you to listen and provide him with some feedback in a gentle way? We all can get off course, me included. We all get off course because we're in the flesh. And there's a verse, I can't think of the actual chapter where it talks about, I want to do right, but I'm doing wrong. I want to do right. I want to do the right thing. But this thing on the inside of me is causing me to act up. I'm acting crazy today. Yeah, so we have to be careful of that. Be aware of that. Accountability versus fear. God's watching us isn't meant to instill fear, but to create a healthy sense of accountability. Just like loving parents, God watches because he cares, not to catch us slipping. It's not to catch us slipping. You know how I don't know about you guys, but I know when I was growing up in church, you would have the more seasoned saints, and they would watch you, and if you're chewing gum or you're talking, spit that gum out, and they will hold their hand out, spit that gum out your mouth. You know you shouldn't be chewing gum in church. You don't see that anymore, right? We let them, they just sit up in there and chew gum. They come in church with their cell phones. They're playing games. They're doing all of this kind of stuff when they should be listening for a word. Even if we weren't listening, we were looking like we were listening because we had to sit up. It wasn't all that you can go to sleep. All that laying down your head. Nope. So there had to be some accountability. So it's just really important for us to understand that, God's way of watching us is totally different from man's way. Man is always trying to catch us doing wrong. Why? Because they want to steal your testimony. Oh, I remember you when. Oh, I remember when you did such and such and such. Oh, didn't you used to do such and such? See, that's how people haven't grown, because they want to continually bring up your past. But if you open up that closet right there, all kind of stuff gonna fall out about them. But they want to bring up your past because they see you elevating. They see you going up. They see you wanting more, getting more, going to another level. And they just want to remind you of your past to make you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here. Oh, yes, you should. You should be at the table making decisions. Yes, you should be buying the home, living the way you want to live. Yes, you should have that career that you have now and elevating even more. Yes, you deserve to have that business and take it 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. Yes, you deserve it. You deserve it. So do not allow anyone to come in talking about they watching you. They watching you. They watching you. You better go watch yourself. Don't be worrying about me. Don't worry about me. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. That's why we all have our own business, right? Say yeah, right, that we need to tend to. We need to be tending to our own business and allow God to watch over us. And there's a way that we can respond to those people. Respond with integrity. Respond with truth. If you said or did something wrong, yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. I apologize, and mean it and move on. Mean it and move on. Mean it and move on. Practice private devotion. Just don't be public with your praise. Make sure that you are in a private state of your praise. Sorry guys, that was my phone and I had to click it up real quick. So just make sure that everything isn't for show. There are times, y'all, when I have my come to Jesus moments, just me and God in the kitchen, in the bedroom. It's typically in this room right here. I get up early in the mornings and I have my time with God because I need him. I need him to hear from me. I need him to speak on my behalf. I need him to guide me. So all that public performance, I'm not downing that, but you need to make sure you're having that individual time with the Lord. Speak life online and offline. I've talked about this before in my videos. Your digital footprint matters. Reflect Christ in all your posts, comments, and creates. I'm talking to believers. You say you believe. Show some signs. We should see some signs. I'm not saying you need to be walking around with your Bible on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm not saying that. But we should be able to know that you believe based off of your conversation. Again, I'm talking strictly to people who say they believe. Our conversation should be a little different. It should be different, not a little different. Excuse that. It should be different from non-believers, because at one time we were non-believers and we taught and walked in different kind of ways, and we're not perfect. but we are striving to be better. Why would someone want to come on your side if you're doing exactly what they're doing? Okay, that's all I'm saying. So just remember, somebody is watching, and his name is King Jesus. That's the person we need to really be concerned about. All right, guys, until next time, continue to grow and glow in the Lord.